You're watching Plus TV Africa, where the big stories live, and this is Tea Time. On this program, we bring you the most recent entertainment news. I'm Tokunbo Tyro, and I'm here with my fellow co-anchors who know how to analyze every story. First and foremost, the impressive Lakwe Banjo, and last but not least, the excitable Ife Oshinkele. Hello, you two.
Hello.
What up?
How's it going?
Not bad at all.
Lost for words, are you?
I am. Oh, good heavens. So what's new this afternoon?
Nothing, actually. I had a really nice lunch.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't had...
you had prawns, didn't you?
Yeah, I had macaroni cheese.
Macaroni cheese.
Haven't had that since I've been
Yes,
here.
but like I was saying to you earlier, it cost an arm and a leg, didn't it?
No, it didn't cost an arm and a leg.
What's new with you this afternoon?
I'm just surprised that the old T-Bill saying whiskey is my little bro. It does can't defy the code of con. Boss.
So you don't think he's telling the truth?
No, I'm just telling him be warned. Anything can happen. Don't trust whiskey with your woman like that, man.
True that.
Whiskey.
Ooh, shaking the table.
You're shaking the table.
I'm just saying, don't just be warned.
All right. On today's episode, we've got two studio guests, and we'll tell you all about our second guest later on the show. But first, let's bring you details regarding our first guest. Now, he's an indigenous rap artist. He's a singer. He's a songwriter as well. And more interestingly, he's a choreographer. Yes, he was born Kingsley Orji, but is popularly known as Kelar Thrillz. Kelar Thrillz, it's very good to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you very
Kelar?
much for joining us indeed. So let's start at the very beginning. Your name, how you came about with that name, Kelar Thrillz, and let's talk about a little bit about your background as well.
Okay, so nice to be here.
Okay.
Right, so Kelar Thrillz is an acronym actually. It actually stands for Kingdom Elevated and Appointed Rapper.
Okay, wow.
So that's what Kelar means.
Do you know, that's really nice to know that it's a nice acronym that's meaningful.
Meaningful,
Because usually
yes.
people just pull
Things
words out of the air.
Exactly.
So that's nice to know.
So that's what Kelar is, and then Thrills is
Yes.
just what I do. I mean, that's
You
what...
thrill people, don't you?
Yeah,
that's what we
actually,
do.
to be fair, I was very thrilled. I watched your video.
Yeah.
Neighbor video.
And it was really, really nice. I mean,
Yeah,
there was a
thank you.
fusion. I think I said to you before that it was
Yeah.
kind of a fusion of, you know,
Olamide,
P Square, Olamide, and Fina all together, because
Yeah.
you had the indigenous Yoruba, the indigenous Igbo, and then the like really, really like intense choreography, which is
Yeah.
great. How did that all come about?
Oh, well, so I grew up in Bariga. I don't know if you know where that is.
Do you know Olamide?
I want to.
Yeah. Actually, we the next street, you know, after mine
Is
was
his?
where Olamide grew up
Oh,
too.
nice.
So same
Okay.
kind of hood. So grew up in. I mean, if you grew up in that kind of place, you would understand the kind of things that works. You understand? So I grew up listening to a lot of Fuji music. You understand? Funny enough. So, you know, the whole Wasiu Ayinde slamming very early in the morning, and you just can't. So every morning we're always getting that. And then next to that, you always have people listen to hip hop music. So that kind of like influenced me a whole lot. And then as at the time I was ready to do this full time, I just didn't want to go out there and sound very, you know, crisp and clean, like, oh, you know, I'm from,
Yeah.
you understand? So had to do something very original from my roots.
Very
you
authentic,
understand?
very
so
African.
that's how, you know, we came about the fusion of, you know, the indigenous kind of music, Yoruba, Igbo, and whatever I can put together, pidgin and stuff, whatever my people understand. That's what we do.
Seems like you're very good with acronyms. Tell us about YAB.
Okay, so YAB is an acronym for Young and Radical Believer.
Okay.
And what does that mean? Believer in what? God? Or?
Yeah, believer in God.
Apparently, you do gospel.
I do
so
gospel.
why? What inspired that? Because one would think with your looks, with your hairdo and all of that, you would probably be like a hip hop rapper using a lot of swear words. But no, you're doing gospel.
I know, yeah.
How? Why?
Okay, so we'll start from analyzing the music first. Okay, so for me, it's always music first before any other thing. Music for me is a form of expression. Okay, this is how I get to say it, because growing up, I was just very conservative, you know. I don't really talk much. I just observe. So that's what I did, you know, the better part of my years. So, yeah. At a point in my life, to start with, my father was an evangelist. Growing up then, blessed memory, he's late now. So he used to take me out for you know, the morning cry and stuff, and then we'll go visitation, and then we'll go praying for people and stuff like that. So, but then that wasn't what really inspired all of this, because I was just doing it. I mean, they just took me along. I don't know what this is really all about. Okay, so there came a time in my life where I felt like, well, I would say that's the least point in my life. I felt really empty, just felt like there's nothing to me. The world itself is really just, you know, meaningless and stuff like that. You know, so it was at that point I went for a retreat somewhere in Ogun State, and there I met young people, you know, about my age, and I saw how, you know, deeply rooted they were in the things of God and stuff like that. And I felt really challenged, because I used to think, oh, this Christianity thing is really not for me.
It's old school.
You know, really old school and cliche and stuff like that. So, well, it was at that point I embraced that change. You know, I gave my life, and, well, music was all I had, and I had to put all I know into the music. So started, you know, growing in faith, you know, studying the scripture, spending time with other people who also, you know, love God and stuff like that. And that really helped me a whole lot. And there's nothing else I know to talk about than this experience that's changed my life, you understand? So in any way I could just express that thing, I just put it out. So that's what the Young and Radical Believer movement is all about, basically. So I know there are young people out there who just feels, you know, this Christianity thing is really not my thing, you know, and oh, being a Christian means you can't be creative, you can't be stylish, you can't be, but I mean, I'm here.
That was actually my next question.
Oh, really?
A lot, you know, at home and abroad, we find that a lot of artists grew up in church or gave their life and then kind of transitioned into secular music.
Well, would
you consider yourself right now a secular artist or a gospel artist, and why?
I consider myself an artist. Full stop. It doesn't have to be, I mean, it doesn't have to be, for me, it's all about the art, music itself, you understand? Whatever you choose to do with the art is your business, really.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
You understand? So do you get criticized for your looks? Like, are there some shows you can't perform in because they say, oh, you don't look like a gospel singer?
Well, they won't tell me. If that was the issue, they wouldn't tell me. But yes, I get messages from time to time. You know, some people just slide in my DM and they're like, oh, what you preach is contrary to what you look like, you know, stuff like that. But I really don't pay attention to all of that.
Lynx actually, you know, gave his life to Christ as well and kind of changed from doing a lot of secular music to gospel music. What do you think is the biggest challenge for artists that are trying to blend the two together?
I would say the challenge is staying rooted, really. I mean, if you plant a tree here, and you know, if you plant a seed and then it grows into a tree, no matter how the wind blows like that, it's because it's well rooted. It doesn't just fall off, even if probably it eventually falls off, but then it doesn't just fall off like that. You understand? So it takes, you have to be really rooted in this thing. Otherwise, you have to stand for something, really. If you're very convinced, if you have a conviction that this is who you are, this is what you are called to do, then by all means, go out and do it.
Let me ask you, you know, because you said, you know, secular music, and you've talked about, you know, your kind of music as well. In the future, do you plan to do secular music as well, or will you haven't thought that far yet, or is there going to be an infusion of both? What's
Okay, very tricky one. Right, so like I said, it's all about the music for me. It's all about the art.
You don't want to box yourself into...
No, I'm not boxed. I mean, tomorrow, if I fall in love and I want to write a love song, I want to put out a love song, I will.
Okay.
All right?
Moving away from the music, and let's talk about the dancing. How did you come up with that, and how did you... I mean, not everyone knows how to dance and, like, you know, choreograph their dancing. Who's inspired you, and how did you know that you could dance so well?
Okay, so aside the Fuji and the hip-hop, we used to go... what's it called? We used to go watch the Michael Jackson, you know, videos at my neighbor's place. So we didn't have a TV.
That's where the neighbor came from, man. I thought your neighbor.
All right, so we just go watch from the window and stuff, and I really enjoyed. You know, Mom used to say you were a fantastic dancer when you were much younger. I don't know what happened to you. So all through secondary school, I wasn't dancing. I was just watching. You know. Like, it just gets to that point in life where you just want to understand who you are, and what you're doing here, really. You understand? So I was just watching people dancing and stuff. Like, I knew I could do something, but I don't know. So after secondary school, immediately after secondary school, that was what I just went to do. Enrolled for dance training and like that. And since then, it's been something I haven't stopped doing. Even at the point where I had to go, you know, work, look for stuff to do. Oh, you're getting old, just go get a job and leave this house and stuff. So I was doing different stuff, but then I was still very consistent with the dance stuff. So it got to a point where, you know, to me, I just felt like this whole go get a job thing is really not my, I don't know, I just don't feel it. You know, getting paid at the end of every month. No, I mean, with all due respect. I'm just joking, bro. With all due respect. All right, so, I mean, there's nothing wrong with working if you feel very comfortable. Yeah, it's really not my thing. So then I had to just look, and you know, I looked on the inside, and that was all I had, dance, music. So I had to just...
So what is next for Kelar Thrillz as an artist? What should we expect from you in the next year or so?
I'm just getting started, okay? And I'm not planning on stopping anytime soon. So I'll just keep getting better, the craft, the, you know, everything put together. I just have to keep working towards increasing the quality of what I put out there. And because I would say my kind of brand is a very sensitive one because people get to mix you up once in a while. They don't really know where to put you, you understand? So I just have to stay rooted, keep building this, and keep working. And yeah, a whole lot is coming up.
Should we look forward to any collaborations? Because I know, obviously, you mentioned that you grew up on the street next to Alameda. Lil Kesh is also out of Barica. They've produced a lot of...
Yeah, sure.
And he also grew up in the church. I've seen videos of him performing in churches and stuff. So should we expect any collaborations anytime soon? Or even Fino, even. So you're a Ibo kind of mixture.
People will be like, you know what, we're waiting for a collaboration between you and Fino. You guys just go pure Igbo rap, just kill it. I'm like, well... When the time comes, we'll do all of that.
Okay. All right, then. Well, unfortunately, we're pushed for time. Thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been quite enlightening to hear from you regarding your background, your music, and your choreography. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you so much.
It was great talking to you.
Yeah. All righty. So it's time for a quick break. When we come back, we'll be bringing you our conversation with our second studio guest. Find out who that is right after this break.
She's stranger on the streets, Shama. So I won't need intro. Oh yeah, feel it. This is the day that the Lord has made. I would rejoice and be glad in it. All of my shackles are broken away. Shaka shaka to the enemy's gate. To kwako si wo mo haiki. Okwakom nazo na si mo fear not. The outside na season ya yaiki. I say radical boy we not a hear word. I'm a radical music in the scene, I repeat. On a dick hang on my when I take it to the streets. And I'm basic and makari and then on a competition. Man, I'm a rachi kunandu me when it. I say my baby
It's where the big stories live. This is Plus TV Africa.
When I did it, I was full on, hands-on on the whole project.
So how did you deal with it? All of that negativity?
I got depressed, obviously. Duh. Haven't you heard?
I've got two of the hottest topics currently trending on social media. If you've seen the word Senate trending on Twitter, that's because the Nigerian police force has gone Trump style.
I haven't shared this with anyone, but I reckon I get about like 100 people asking for help a day. That's a fact. I can prove that.
Welcome back. You're watching Tea Time right here on Plus TV Africa, and we're about to introduce our second studio guest. She's a 2018 BBNaija contestant and a vlogger who maintains a makeup-related YouTube channel, drawing in a large audience. She's also a beautician and a CEO of Vandora X. Allow me to introduce someone who loves food, who loves to dance, and loves to party. With almost 300,000 followers on Instagram, please welcome the vibrant, the versatile, the vitality oozing Vandora. That was a lot, wasn't it? Don't mind me, I always do excess. But did you like your intro though?
I do. I like anything a little bit extra. So
extra.
Thank you very much for deciding to come on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so let's start with Vandora, because a lot of people usually get confused. You know, how did Vandora come about? I personally know the answer, but just for our viewers out there, you know.
It's nothing deep.
Okay.
Literally, my name is Vanessa, and my mom calls me Adora. So Vandora.
Vandora. Oh, does everyone at home call you Vandora then?
Yeah.
Oh, really? So it's actually like your name.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So just before we go on to like the whole Big Brother, because I know you're expecting that, and everyone's talking to you about Big Brother. How was your life before Big Brother? Like, what were you up to, and why did you decide to go on the show?
Okay. Well, I studied in Cape Town. I studied brand strategy, and then I finished, and I didn't want to work there because I was working at Saatchi & Saatchi in Cape Town, but I wasn't really like feeling it. So I interned there for a while, and I was like, let's move to Nigeria, let's see what's up. And then I worked in Nigeria for about a year. I lost my job, and then my friend was like, come, let's try out for Big Brother. It was just a fun thing. Let's go have fun. Let me do something different, and that was it.
And it just kind of stuck.
All right. So how was life after Big Brother been for you?
Well, different, I will say. Very weird. It takes a lot of adjusting because, you know, like a lot of people know when they're becoming famous. You gradually see the process, you see the progress. You just jump straight into it, you know, like dive straight into like.
And in the deep end.
You know what I mean? There's no full stop. You're just like, oh wow, I'm here. Okay, what's gonna happen? So you try and go through the motions without people seeing what you're going through. But it doesn't really work. So, well, for me, I'm quite outspoken with my feelings.
Okay. Has that opened doors for you positively or negatively?
Both.
Both. Negative in what way? But
negative in the sense that a lot of people think they know you.
Sure.
And they just assume a lot of things about your life. And then positive in terms of I'm free to do whatever I want to do. Like I am, like, basically it's an open book to life. What do you want your character to be? What does this chapter hold for you? Like, it's amazing to be in that, to be in control of your next move, your life. Like, it's hard to get opportunities like that. People usually have to grow into things they want to become and stuff. This just puts you on an open, you know, an open ground, and you're just like, okay, I want to go this way. Nah, let me try this way. It looks like fun.
Talking about people, you know, kind of thinking that they know you and stuff, I've been on your Instagram page, I've looked at a lot of your videos, very interesting stuff on there. I wanted to ask about, you know, especially for men. I mean, people think that they've summed you up, you know, judge you based on how you look. You've been on a very popular show. What is the kind of responses that you get, and what does it do to your self-esteem as a woman? Okay, at first, it bothered me a lot. It bothered me a lot, like what people thought, how like, because at the end of the day, I have family, I have people that I look up to, I have people that respect me. Do you understand what I mean? And I have people that I want to basically be attached to or be, do you get? I want us to be together, but if the rumor is that I am left or I'm right, you might not necessarily want to attach your brand to my name, and it affects me, or it used to. And then I got to that point of, I don't care. Like, I don't, if I was allowed to swear, I'd just be like, I just don't care.
Speaking of not caring, you had something to say about BamBam's AMVCA dress.
Yeah.
So what
did you attend, by the way? Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I didn't attend.
You didn't attend, because I was like, I don't think I saw you there. All right, speaking on BamBam's dress, because I wanted to ask you that, but Ife took it right out of my mouth.
It was not anything malicious. Everybody knows me. I'm very descriptive. I could call myself a big tomato. Like everybody, like I'm just very descriptive, and I think a lot of people took it out of context. Okay. I did not say I don't care how she took it. I meant how my Instagram family. I don't care how you take it, because the person that cares knows me. She knows the way I talk.
So did BamBam take it anyway?
No.
Did she respond to you?
No.
Okay, let's get it from your mouth then. What did you think of the dress?
I said it. You know what? There's a particular picture where she comes out of the elevator like this, and then literally light is shining on her face, and then it's green. I mean, nobody's blinded. I did not really say anything specific on the style. Of course, it's high fashion, and everybody, like, if you're blind, you know that.
Can you just be specific? What did you say she looked like?
I said she looked like a tree.
A particular one.
A Christmas tree.
I said a Christmas tree with
is that kind of dress you would wear, you personally, or that's not your kind of style?
Personally, I'm not a high fashion. I'm not a high fashion. And you know what? Me and my friend discussed it. Me and Princess, actually. Princess was like, oh, why would BamBam wear this too? I was like, see, it's a statement piece. I would prefer it in a photo shoot, but if she chooses to wear it at a red carpet, that's her choice. Like, because I did say, it's like, she wore it, like Rihanna wore it, Lady Gaga wore it, BamBam wore it, take it the way you like. Like, she did it. Like, literally, that's how I felt. But I was only describing exactly how the dress looked like to me. High fashion pieces, I mean, have you seen high fashion makeup? How many of you can wear that out? Like, eyeshadow going behind, like, not a lot of people can do
And
that.
what do you think, I mean, on that topic anyway, I wanted to just take a different angle on that. We've seen Nicki Minaj and Cardi B tearing each other down. What do you think is the problem with women not supporting each other? Because for me, I guess it's your opinion. And at the end of the day, you know, it's comedy, it's funny. And
like I'm goofy. Like if you take me too seriously, you hurt yourself.
Totally understand that. But you also have almost 300,000 followers. And people, you know, whether you say good or bad things, people will judge you. Why do you not think that, you know, in this kind of social media age where people will take what you say out of context, do you think that those kind of comments are exactly what women shouldn't be doing?
Yeah, Vandora, please hold on to that thought because we just need to take a quick break. When we come back, you can answer that. We'll take a quick break right now. When we come back, we'll be talking to Vandora. Stay here.
Today's top stories are...
And the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria.
I'm here at Eunice Bashorin Street, where
the fire destroyed our transformer complete castle.
The lowest level you can.
I'm Black by Banjo. This is Plus TV Africa. The big stories live here.
Big stories live here.
Big stories live here.
Welcome back. You're watching Tea Time right here on Plus TV Africa. On today's episode, we're talking to Big Brother Naija contestant Vandora. So, before the break, Ife, I think it was you.
No, it was me.
It was you.
I just wanted to know what you felt about, you know, we always discuss on here that, you know, when two women are in a position of power or when women are, you know, going at it at each other. Do you think, you know, you calling out BamBam is an example of you not kind of... I mean, you've just, you're supporting, because you've just said yourself here that you thought it was couture, you thought it was high fashion, but you're being comedic. Do you think, you know, in an age of social media, that kind of, you know, comments should be condoned?
Okay, I'll say that to each their own, because basically, if that's the thing, a lot of, how will I put this thing? No, to answer your question, no. Do you understand? Like, if you say if it's about supporting women and blah, 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 no. But do you know me? If you know me, you will know that I mean no harm. And if I'm not coming from a place of harm or hatred or even trying to bring you down in any way, shape or form, then there's nothing wrong with what I said. But it's you getting to know me. A lot of people think they know me because I was on Big Brother for 3 weeks, but I kept quiet for 3 weeks on Big Brother. So do you really know what comes out of my mouth? No. A lot of people that lived with me kind of know. Like, oh, she's just being silly, she's just being funny. Because if you went into the dressing room and you came out, I'd be like, oh, that's just the way I talk. Do you get? But honestly, I made my point. It's a statement piece. If you like it, if you don't, that's your own. She did it. That's exactly what I said about her in general, coming out and stuff. So it wasn't anything negative. I was trying to purposely, when I'm trying to talk, I try to give you a descriptive picture of what's going on in my head. Okay. So it might not always come out right, but it's never from a place of harm.
Do you know why this might be conflicting? Because there was a rumor or an allegation that you were into Teddy A. So could this be...
Well, I don't know, because you had a boyfriend at the time, didn't you?
Yeah, so what happened?
And you stayed loyal to your boyfriend, so how does that, I mean...
They like to come up with their own. I don't know where me and Teddy A were even close at any time. Like, anytime me and Teddy A were talking, BamBam was there or we were having a group conversation. There was never a time where me and Teddy A were actually alone and I was trying to... The only person I was playing with was D1. And I knew I was playing with him because he was serious with his lady, and I knew I would just shoot my shot and nothing would happen. I was safe. So basically, yeah, so basically I was just like, let me, you know, spice off my life. That's what I'm saying. I'm very funny. If you take me seriously, you will hurt yourself.
Any regrets from the Big Brother house?
No, I just wish I came out being myself more at first. So a lot of people think I'm quiet or I'm shy.
And moving on to stuff that you've done after Big Brother, just before we wrap up the show, you've got a skincare line now.
Yes, I do.
And also, you know, skincare lines in Nigeria are very controversial. This is your chance to say, because I've always thought toning, anything with those description has got some form of skin changing, bleaching elements to it.
I was actually going to tell her she looks Vandora exquisite.
So does it have in it? And, you know, in terms of glow, you don't have to bleach to glow. So how does that all come together?
So I will say that my product is 85% natural. I will say that because Nigeria is, we're in an environment where there's a lot of pollution. And if you want to say that you're only going to use natural chemicals to extract everything, you're lying. That's why Dove is not completely natural. I mean, like your cream, your everyday creams are not completely natural.
So what, even the ones with pure natural ingredients aren't completely natural?
Well, if you make it yourself, then you can fend. You can say that it's completely natural. But like I would say that in the air that we breathe, it's not completely possible. You need a heavier or more intense, and you can only do that scientifically. Right. And once you go over to that stage, I'm not going to put raw lime juice into my. It's not going to last. I can't. I'm not going to tell you to put things in your fridge. I'm really not going to. Then there's no point. Do you understand? There needs to be preservation and different things, and that adds.
My notes pad. You're writing you're calling out your recipes.
I'm being honest.
And how did you coin up the name? You know, the
Vandora X, basically.
No, not Vandora X. Skin like milk. I thought that was
because
absolutely.
Because every time people saw me, they're like, "I want to lick you. You look like ice cream." So I was like, I literally skin like milk, basically. That was, and I love milk.
Don't worry, I don't want to lick you. I just like to put you in my coffee.
All right, okay. Unfortunately, that's where we're going to wrap up on Tea Time. Join us tomorrow for fresh entertainment stories. Until then, a big thank you to my co-anchors, the production team, and last but not least, our guests on the show. Starting first with Kelar Thrillz and also Vandora. Thank you very much for coming. I'm Tokumbo Taiwo saying thanks for watching and have yourself a good afternoon.
Nice.